You know that feeling when your wardrobe starts to feel a bit overwhelming? You look at it and go, oh my God, I really need to do something about this. But then you just don't. And it's funny because the more clothes we own, the harder it actually becomes to get dressed. I recently asked you guys what you struggle with the most when you're trying to declutter your closet. And honestly, the answers seriously hit home because I've definitely been there too. The guilt of wearing something I spent money on, or keeping things I think I need but I don't actually wear. And I get it because those clothes aren't just clothes, right? They're memories, emotions, or little pieces of us at some stage of our life. We keep pieces that don't quite fit, or pieces we used to love that don't quite feel like us anymore, because letting go feels like a waste, or scared of that feeling of regret. Our brains hold on to clothes because they remind us of who we used to be or the person we thought we might become. But when you have too many versions of you living in your wardrobe, we experience decision fatigue, and that's why it feels so much harder than it should to get dressed. And that's why I've created the Declutter Your Wardrobe workbook. Not just to help you get rid of things for the sake of having less, but to help you reconnect with yourself and your style. Because when you understand what belongs in your wardrobe and why, you stop adding things you don't need and start wearing things you actually love. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the formula that I created, which is built on 3 parts: clarity, structure, and system. And once you've gone through this process yourself, I guarantee you know exactly what's missing, what's worth keeping, and how to build outfits that you actually love. Okay, so before we get into the detail, here's a quick overview of the framework: clarity, structure, and system. So clarity is where we find your 3 adjectives. They're the theme, they're the through line through all the pieces in your wardrobe. And every piece should match at least 2 of your 3 adjectives. Then there's structure, where we use the minimalist wardrobe formula, which is the 4 tiers, to make sure that every piece has a role and they fit within a certain category. And then this also helps with finding the gaps or pieces that you might want on your wish list. So you can feel 100% confident that every piece in your wardrobe has a reason to be there. And what I've recently actually discovered is the psychological theory called the endowment effect, which basically is our brain overvaluing things that we've spent money on that we own. So once we buy something and it's sitting in our wardrobe, suddenly we feel like it's more special and more valuable, even though we might not actually like it, which is so annoying. So this process is going to help you override that initial instinct, and then we can start rebuilding a wardrobe that actually works for you. Okay, so to start us off in the workbook, we are looking at clarity. So this part is all about understanding your personal style. This is all about who you are, not who you were 5 years ago or who you think you should be dressing like. And for me, and when I help my clients, I find the easiest way to find clarity is finding your 3 adjectives. So these 3 words describe how you want your clothes to feel, not like on trend or minimalist. It's got to be deeper than that, like confident, effortless, grounded. So to find them, we're going to find 3 pieces in your wardrobe. So number 1 is your everyday piece. What is the piece that you put on or pick without even thinking? And for me, they are my Vagabond biker boots. Whenever I put them on, my outfit just feels instantly better. They are grounded, structured, they've got a bit of a roughness to them, but they're just solid and reliable. So that is my everyday piece. Then we're going to find your contrast piece, which is a piece that shows a different side of your personality. And for me, it is this upcycled blazer. This is definitely a very emotional piece for me when I bought it. It's structured and authoritative, but when you turn it around, it's got this beautiful embroidery, it's got this tapered ribbon waistline, and so it brings this unconventional creative aspect to it. So that is definitely my contrast piece. Then lastly, I want you to find your piece or pieces that is your energy piece. What is something that when you wear it just clicks? So for me, that is my double denim set, my Canadian tuxedo. This just feels so effortless when I put it on. It just feels really put together. I feel confident. People comment on it a lot. So now I'm going to look at the comments that I wrote. What are the feelings or the words that came across all 3? And what is that energy that runs through them? So for me, my words are unconventional, confident, and creative. So those 3 adjectives now become your filter and your through line for everything that comes in or that you are removing from your wardrobe. And you want to make sure that each piece aligns with at least 2 adjectives so that they feel like you and they actually feel like they belong in your wardrobe. And if that piece doesn't align with 2 of your adjectives, then they might be there out of guilt or potentially some spending habits that you need to get rid of. So in this process, we're starting to recognize the difference between clothes looking good and feeling good. Okay, so once you've got the clarity, your 3 objectives, the next step is structure. So this is where you can see what's working and what's just taking up space. And we do this using my minimalist wardrobe formula, which breaks down your wardrobe into 4 tiers: your foundation, second skin, your capsule items, personality basics, and your dopamine pieces. And there's a psychological reason why this framework helps so much, and it's called the paradox of choice, which is this idea of the more options we have, the harder it actually becomes to make a decision and feel satisfied with that decision. So when your wardrobe's overflowing, it doesn't mean you have bad style, it just means your brain is overflowing. So this will cut through all the noise, make it super clear what stays, what goes, what gets replaced. So let's break down the 4 tiers. And so I'm just going to push everything to the side for a second. Okay, so start off is your foundation or your second skin. These are 1 or 2 pieces that you naturally gravitate towards. Should be super simple and clear in your brain. Mine are a white t-shirt and my blue jeans. Next are your capsule pieces, which are the base of your wardrobe. They're 14 to 16 pieces that are really high quality basics. They're neutral colors, things like white shirts, grey pants, white, grey, beige, brown tanks, leather jackets, black jackets, more jackets, a blazer, neutral colored skirts, and everyday shoes, boots, neutral colored bags as well. And then tier 3 is your personality basics. And this is where those 3 objectives really start to show up. They're pieces that bring out your personality in your wardrobe, which could be through fabric, shape, details, like this vintage jacket and this interesting looking top, this boho tank and this silk black tank. This is where I throw in my double denim set too, my green leather jacket and my Daisy Studio shirt. And this is where my brown biker boots come in, and also my tall black boots too. And then tier 4 is your dopamine pieces, which is the most important pieces. These are 6 or 7 pieces that just give you energy, that make you smile as soon as you put them on. So they're all about emotion. It might be a special dress, a color, something sentimental. They're the few pieces that keep your wardrobe inspiring. So I have this beautiful dress, I have the skirt that I'm wearing, my Garni vest, couple of bold colored skirts, and this beautiful leather bag that I absolutely love. So once you do this exercise and see your wardrobe through this lens, patterns will start to show up straight away. What you've got way too much of, what's missing, what you can simplify, and then from there it's just about filling the gaps, not necessarily adding more. And if you'd like to go deeper into the minimalist wardrobe, I have created a minimalist wardrobe guide that you can find in the link below, which breaks down every layer in a lot more detail. And you also get a Canva template with that as well, so you can play around with your own wardrobe. Okay, now that you've got your clarity and your structure, it's time to build a system. And this is what's going to keep your wardrobe working long term. So we're going to use something that's called the decision gate, and it's super simple. There's just 2 quick questions for every piece you own or plan to buy. So gate 1 is identity. Does this reflect at least 2 of my adjectives? If it's a yes, you move on to the next gate. If it's a no, maybe it's a sign to let that go or donate it. And if it's a maybe, which I feel like a lot of you will have a lot of maybes, try styling it into an outfit and then see what your first initial reaction is. And your gut feeling will be the one that's right. So then gate 2 is function. This is where I want you to go, does it have a place in my minimalist wardrobe? And if it's a yes, what part of the pyramid does it belong to? If it's a no, we're gonna let go of it. And if it's a maybe, we're gonna put it in a bag, out of sight, and you're gonna revisit it in 1 month. And if you don't reach for it or don't even think about that piece, it needs to go. So once you go through this process, I'd say you probably have a lot of the maybe pile. Or maybe I might wear that one day and it looked really good once. So this is where the 30-day test comes in. This is my absolute favorite part because it takes all the pressure off. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna pick 30 to 35 pieces that include shoes and accessories, and you're only gonna dress from those pieces for that 1 month. And this is really important. Everything else goes out of sight. It's in a box, it's in a bag, it's away from your brain, because you need to give yourself that breathing room to understand what you're actually reaching for. And if you actually missed it. So here, for example, I write down the item I've worn, how many times I've worn it, the comfort and the confidence out of 10, and then what tier on the pyramid does it belong to. And at the end of the 30-day, we're gonna go, it's staying, it's going, or it's gonna go back through the cycle again. And I wasn't actually gonna tell you guys this, but I actually did this recently, and something really surprised me. This beautiful jacket that I waited so long to buy and was super expensive, I didn't reach for it once. So I'm now going back through my adjectives, if it's got a place in my wardrobe. So it's definitely in the maybe pile right now, and I'm gonna give it another 30-day test. So sadly, that one might be going soon to make room for a better piece. So after those 30 days, you're going to reflect on the pieces that earned their place in your wardrobe. What felt missing, what surprised you, and which of your 3 style words showed up the most. So the point isn't about having less, it's about having clarity when you're trying to put on an outfit every day. You really just don't need that decision fatigue every time you try and get dressed. And so when you're bringing pieces back into your wardrobe, only bring in what you truly missed. And everything else just stays tucked away, and that's your answer. From there, you want to stick to one simple habit that I do every single time now, and that is 1 in, 1 out. This will keep your wardrobe balanced, clutter-free, calm, and you and your space will just feel so light. And I personally love having a closet that's designed like this. So the whole point of creating this workbook isn't so that you just throw everything out, it's to see your style and your wardrobe more clearly. You'll start to notice the pieces that actually make you feel good to wear. And honestly, it has taken me years to get to this point. I've been through this ride. I've owned so many clothes, overflowing my wardrobe. But now I have a pretty refined, still creative, minimalist wardrobe, and honestly, it feels amazing. It's so easy to put outfits together. So this workbook is something that you can work through at home. You can go through your clarity, structure, system, and then do that 30-day test to put it all into practice. If you would like one of these workbooks, the link is below. And because I love this YouTube community so much, there's a special discount for you guys as well. And so I hope you really enjoy this process. Put some music on, grab a coffee, go through your wardrobe. And it's so important to remember that decluttering is not what you're letting go of, it's what you're making space for. Thank you so much again. I love all of your comments. Please keep sharing, asking questions. I love creating these, and I was so inspired to make this workbook because of you guys. So if you have any questions for me, just drop them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.